right, sorry if there was an audio issue there. Hopefully we have it resolved. Our microphone may have lost its battery. We're good? Alright. Let us know if you can hear us in the comments. I will just kind of chat until we get the lag caught up and make sure that you're all hearing us nice and clearly. We are hanging out again with our Colorado babies, a whole bunch of Cornish cross chickens who are no longer babies, but are in fact grown-up birds who are just babies in our heart. And we're actually going to be talking a little bit about what it is like to be working at a sanctuary where animals are getting old. Because we often talk a little bit about, the life expectancies of our residents on farms and at sanctuaries. But we know that 2020 has been a hard year for us here at Catskill Animal Sanctuary. And we know that we've lost a lot of our beloved residents. And we feel like we've been putting out some, heartbreaking news from time to time throughout this year. And it has an impact on all of you as well. So we wanted to just kind of take an afternoon here to give you some context around what it looks like to be an animal who is getting old at sanctuary, to be an animal who's sick at a sanctuary, and to help you kind of just get that glimpse into this side of sanctuary life. So if you have questions that you are hoping we could answer for you about what it is like to be caring for our older residents, why sometimes it feels like we've been losing more of our residents of late. Oh, Malika. Oh. So, can we see Malika?
We're gonna pan over. Kaden, why does Malika look really like that right now?
Yeah, Malika is a mess. She is molting. So she has lost a bunch of her feathers as a part of a natural molt that she goes through. And she is currently working on growing them back in, but her feathers are a mess at the moment.
And that's one of those things that'll help her this winter.
Yes.
To have nice new feathers like we talked about last week.
Yes. And do we have any questions so far as we come in? All right. So we're going to talk first a little bit about our friends, the Colorado babies. And the reason is we've actually lost 3 of these guys this year. So we have lost Skoony, Tilly, and Kaya. And each one has been absolutely heartbreaking for us. And it feels oftentimes like it is sudden. And we've noticed that there is a health trend among this flock that our veterinarians have not been able to sort of get to the bottom of. So our Colorado babies were rescued in 2019, the very, very beginning of 2019 in January. And they came to us from one farm. The farm that they were on, Cyrus, do you want to cuddle while we talk? No. Did anyone want to cuddle while we talk? The farm that we were on, that they were on, had 36,000 chickens in 3 barns. So that's about 12,000 chickens per barn. These babies were rescued because the farm had gone bankrupt. And the farmers were just going to let all of the birds die. They were going to turn off the heat, and they were going to stop feeding them. And that was legal. It was perfectly legal. So activists went in. Sal, do you want to hang out? No. Okay. So activists went in and what do you think? I know you were having a fun time in the dirt, but now we're having a fun little cut. Activists went in and rescued 600 of these babies. Babies who either would have passed away when they were just a couple weeks old, or even if the farm hadn't gone bankrupt, would have been killed at the age of 6 weeks. Terrible, right? It's absolutely terrible. We don't like that story at all. We're very happy that you're here with us. And yes, we have a question coming through.
Yeah, about the number of chickens that were there. The question is, was it a factory farm? Because that seems like a lot of birds.
Yes. So I like to call it sort of a standard American farm, because when we talk about factory farms, it sounds a little bit like it's an aberration, like this isn't what is normal. These are family-owned farms. These are farms that can be called family farms. 36,000 chickens is not even as large as some of these farms get. Some farms quite literally have millions of chickens on them. So 36,000, yes, I think most of us would picture it in the same way as we picture factory farms. It is, yes, a factory farm, but it's not an aberration. It's not a massive number of chickens on an American farm. It's a slightly on the smaller side standard American farm, unfortunately. And so 99% of the 9 billion chickens who are raised for food each year in the U.S. come from those types of farms. 99%. So, just billions, unfortunately. Yeah. Do we have other questions?
Well, Sherry is wondering about the animals who pass, if all the animals that pass are buried here on site.
Yes. There may be some exceptions. None are really springing to mind other than one office cat who was cremated. But yes, they are all buried on site. So we have different burial areas at the sanctuary where our residents who have passed away will go. And we do above ground burial processes for them so that they don't impact the groundwater. Do we have more questions?
Well, this is just something that is coming from me now as a potential follow-up, and maybe this is something you were going to get to. But if we do like an autopsy on any of them and then they still come back here after that happens, or?
Oh, no, they wouldn't come back here. So there are, that's a great question, Lauren. Lauren's looking pleased with herself behind the camera right now. So actually that's a really, really good point. So all 3 of our Colorado babies who passed away in 2020, they were sent to get autopsies done so that we could learn more information about what may have led to their passing. What was going on inside of them that the vets weren't able to see when they were getting checkups. So that we could hopefully learn more and help protect their flock by knowing, what health issues might be happening in their flock. And if they are sent away for autopsies, most often they will be cremated by the place that was doing their autopsy. Yes. Do we have even more questions? Or we just got we've got a cute little sort of chicken group hanging out over here. Oh, I've offended.
Oh no.
I got in the way.
Janine also mentioned a few years ago she was visiting and there was the virtual helmet thingy that showed like the crowded chickens.
Yes.
in the barn. Yeah, the virtual reality, which is a really cool media if folks are able to check that out, to be able to see, because it's one of those things that does really kind of put you in the place, and no matter where you look, you know, then you're it's like a 360 and above and below and everything camera, so it does really put you in there.
Shoes. Yeah. Yeah, and when you would have done those virtual reality scenarios, like, you would have seen just how many other birds or pigs were around you in these farms, whether they're cage-free egg farms, Cornish cross chicken farms, pig farms. There's thousands of other individuals in those barns with you as just very, very standard practice. And with these birds and pigs and goats and sheep and cows who we rescue, their early life was in conditions that are not really meant to give anyone a good start. Their early life for these birds involved having been starved because the farm had gone bankrupt. A lot of our other Cornish cross rescues, they're on farms because they're being bred to be killed and eaten after 6 weeks of life, 6 weeks of life. And so they grow really rapidly, and that tremendously fast growth really impacts how their bodies work, how their health outcomes look, and our Cornish cross chickens in general, unfortunately, like all of our sweet birds here, have shorter life expectancies even at sanctuary, once we're doing everything in our power to try and keep them healthy as long as possible. Because when they were bred into existence, when we changed how their body's genetics looked and worked, the intention was never for them to live a long, healthy 10-year chicken life. Instead, it was rapid growth. And so dealing with the outcomes or the implications of that kind of breeding is what we have to deal with every single day here at Catskill Animal Sanctuary. And sometimes, if you're getting, all of these guys were rescued from one flock. And sometimes we do see health issues within flocks. So we don't know why still there have been a lot of crop impactions and health issues among the birds here, which has led to some of our flock members in the Colorado babies falling sick. We're still trying to get to the bottom of that with our vets. We've reached out to other folks who have rescued our birds from this Colorado rescue, and nobody is quite sure, what it is right now. We've seen different health outcomes at different sanctuaries, so we're still trying to sort of figure it all out. And I think we have a question.
This is just again from me.
Oh.
For the folks at home to also understand kind of what sort of issues we face. If you say crop impaction, like what is that?
So, I'm going to Cyrus, I know you're having a good preen. You're having a good preen.
We also have Kira still right over here, and she's a sweetheart. Named for the sister of one of our very dear staff members, Veronica.
Who do we think is cuter, Veronica? Bird Kira or your sister? We won't make you choose, but if you want to cast a vote in the comments, send it out to your family. Birds are always cuter than humans. This is the rule.
Ooh, that's kind of harsh, Kaden. I don't know. So Kira is quite a cutie. Oh, Veronica says bird Kira. I don't know if human Kira is watching this, but
it looks like bird Kira does not want to cooperate. But you know what? Bird Cyrus often does. Even though you're having a good preen. Okay. I just want you to be a model, like you always are, okay? You're always a model. So, when a bird eats, they eat with their mouths, like most of us do.
No.
Well, I photosynthesize, but that's just because I've reached a new level of vegan. But most of us eat with our mouths, and then when birds eat, it goes into this little thing that's sort of like down their throat. There's their crop, and the crop does not like really digest the food in the same way that the stomach is, but the food will go there first. There are some digestive bacteria in their crop, and so this part of their digestive system doesn't have a lot of musculature, and so they are not able to control a lot of the food in there, and they rely on the rest of their digestive system kind of moving smoothly in order to pass food through their crop. But a lot of birds who start to have health issues anywhere in their body might slow down their digestive system. Anybody who has rabbits at home may be familiar with the risk of stasis if there's any issues going on with their rabbit's health outside of their digestive system even. But crop impactions will happen sometimes if there's other health things going on that are going unnoticed, because birds are prey animals, and they're very, very good at hiding any illness. Shame on you. It's never bad to ask for help. Meanwhile, I shame you. But yeah, so they get these impacted crops, and when we would try to treat them, there are a couple of different ways that we'll treat the crop depending on what specifically is going on. It might look like probiotics or other digestive aids. It might look like trying to add some liquid to rehydrate them and help things move through. Sometimes it looks like actually taking things out of their crop. But all of our normal sort of go-to treatments for these birds weren't working, and when they would get to the vet, we would see that it was really a symptom of other digestive health issues that had been going on for them without symptoms. And so we're still trying to get to the root of why this group seems to have some particular digestive health issues. But it's likely not unrelated to, again, how they have been so super selectively bred. And so many of them will live very, very long lives here at Sanctuary, for sure. Like our guy Al, he's a Cornish cross rooster, very handsome one. I love him dearly. Never gonna miss a moment to say that Al's the best looking chicken out there. But
They can hear you, you know.
But Cyrus
She's
is
sitting right there.
You're a model too, Cyrus. I just love Al.
She's gonna get your face now. That's what you get.
It is what I deserve. It is. I love you. You're a good bird. Where was I? Al's 5, so they can live really, really long lives. Al's still going strong, but we do have to kind of contend with these ongoing health issues here at Sanctuary. We do have, I can't tell who it is who's taking a dust bath over there, but Lauren wants me to point them out.
Very cute. Taking a dust bath. Which is how they keep themselves clean, which sounds a little bit backwards at first. But, oh yeah. Get all that dirt and dust and things under the feathers and then groom it out, and you get rid of any dead skin under there, any little bugs that might have found their way in there, and just get it nice and clean. Really cute. Who's that making all that noise over there?
Miracle in the background is having some hinny chatterbox moments.
And we do have 2 questions.
We have some questions. Great. Ask away.
Yes. So, wondering about the birds and their caregivers, like when there's a loss. How are the birds and their caregivers doing?
Like our humans. Sometimes there are... generally speaking, our animal caregivers are sad after residents pass away, just like we all are. But it is also something that you adjust to as a part of this kind of work. And my toe is going down here. So some of us definitely have, those special bonds with a couple of residents who just happen to worm their way into our hearts in the best possible way. Where we love them all, but, I've got my Al. Other people have their versions of Al. And those ones are really hard. Beyond that, we definitely do more in the loss of each individual and feel that, but when you are dealing with a sanctuary that has hundreds of animals in your care, and you have to keep going on and caring for these animals, regardless of, who you've lost, everybody else still needs their food, their water, their houses cleaned, their meds given, love and attention given to them. We just kind of carry on, and it is worth noting. Oh my gosh, it is worth noting that having all of these other animals around to spend time with helps you get through the loss as well. We have to.
Yeah, we have to look at this. So, still not sure who that is laying down, because the way we tell them apart are their little anklets. Oh, it's Sal. Okay. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell sometimes when they're laying down, but Sal is in there, and Ruby is helping?
Helping.
Question mark?
Some form. Best birds. Can we even see me?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna come around the pole this way.
Okay.
There we
We
go.
have another question.
Yes, about how many of these girls we have here, of the Colorado girls.
We have 11 still with us. The original rescue was of 15. Wait, no, we have 12. No, we have 11 still with us. The original rescue was of 15. One passed away almost immediately upon arriving, very suddenly, and they were in precarious health when they were first rescued. And it's also worth noting that farmers actually expect 1 to 2% of this breed of chicken to pass away before they even reach 6 weeks of age on farms, because of the health issues that are just sort of built into their genetics at this point, which is a heartbreaking statistic. But so we lost one in January of 2019, and then we've lost 3 over the course of 2020.
And also, Ashley is watching. Former caregiver Ashley. Hi, Ashley.
Oh, hey! How are you, Ashley?
It's always good to
wonderful
see old
chicken.
friends come up in the chat.
Yes, and Ashley is a wonderful chicken caregiver as well, with a micro sanctuary of her own.
Wait, what's a micro sanctuary?
A micro sanctuary. Thank you, Lauren.
I'm here to be the voice of
Micro sanctuaries. I'm sure Ashley will tell you about her lovely, I think, 3 house birds right now, who are part of her family. But micro sanctuaries are something that we are all capable of having in some form or another at our own homes, where we have a few rescued animals, typically specifically animals who've been rescued from laboratory, farm, or other exploitative settings. And we provide them a home as a part of our family. It's not on the big scale that a lot of sanctuaries like Catskill Animal Sanctuary do these rescues, but still are opening up new homes for animals who are in need of help. And it allows you to really form a bond with species who we might not otherwise view as potential companions and family members. And it is a wonderful, wonderful proof that they are just as good of family members as anyone else. What do we have going on back here? We've got a lot of good dust baths happening today, I gotta say. Oh, and I don't know who is in that dust bath, but the eyes are closing, and we're getting a little snoozy back there as well. So, just all around, super precious. Do we have more questions about aging at the sanctuary coming through?
Yeah, about is this issue something that all sanctuaries have to worry about in caring for like geriatric
Yes.
animals?
Yes, absolutely. Who asked that question?
That was Heather.
I was like, that use of the word geriatric sounds like someone who knows what I like to talk about.
Also,
Hi,
who is this who's just come wandering by?
This is
Because look at
Sal.
all this dirt on Sal. Oh my goodness.
Sal's still got to shake out that dust bath.
Yeah, they really get you in the face, Kanan.
Sal shook out her dust bath in my face. It is very true. But yes, so all farmed animal sanctuaries do have to deal with the fact that our animals get old. And that's such a beautiful, beautiful thing that these guys age. Imogen, instead of preening chickens who don't want your help, come over here and say hello. Hi, Winter. We're about to get an Imogen here, so I'm just gonna have a winter cuddle before Imogen comes over and steals the show. But all sanctuaries have to deal with our animals getting old. That's a gift to get to be with them into their old age. And it is also worth noting, hi, I love you. You are perfect in every single way. Yes, you are. You want to kiss me? Hello. I mean, does life get better than this? Does it? Does it? I don't know. I don't think it does. But we also have to deal as they age. All of these sanctuaries are also coping with the fact that veterinarians, the people who are, the ones that we rely on to help us care for our sick and elderly, as well as our healthy, relatively healthy. You look like you want to peck my glasses, and I don't want you to. Veterinarians are not often taught about how to care for these species in their old age in school. So a lot of the teaching around farmed animal species is about preventative medicine. Really, really basic preventative medicine. Hey, Imogen, we have enough love to go around. You can go, Winter. I'm so sorry. That was awful. That was terrible. I don't approve. Sometimes we have little hissy fits. And we peck our friends when we shouldn't. But flock management strategies are what are often taught to veterinarians for farmed animal species, which is not the same thing as providing individual care into old age by any means. And so our veterinarians are often facing new, difficult challenges alongside us, and we have to navigate those as they come. We've been incredibly fortunate to have veterinarians who are willing to learn for us, and to do research into literature out there that might help us know how to care for these animals, and to be curious and explorative with us. But it is absolutely a challenge, and it is absolutely a challenge that sanctuaries everywhere face. And we have another question. Is our camera super crooked, Lauren?
It is a little bit.
Yeah.
It is a little bit. I know. I've been trying to work with it. We're going to move it to here. And then we do have to get finishing up, which is too bad. We do have a question before we go that I think is something very important. Sherry is wondering, can you talk a little bit about herd friends taking care of each other as they age?
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely see that with some of our rescues, where specifically I would say in the herd species, so the goats, sheep, and cows, horses to varying degrees, when their close friends are getting older, we do definitely see, those close friends start to hang back with one another, provide that company, provide that protection from some of the more boisterous young members of the herd, and generally just be really sweet and caring companions in old age. Um, we've absolutely seen that with Christopher, the sheep here, who looked after his aging mother. We have seen that with some cow friends who've looked after their aging companions or mothers, depending on which herds we're talking about. We are likely to see it with our goat families as those families age. Loretta and Lonnie are definitely going to be some very good daughters to their aging mother, I do suspect.
They are already
because they're already
very
perfect.
good daughters
Yeah.
to their mother.
Well, yeah, she's
Mama
just not aging.
Jacqueline. And Christopher has also been a very good friend to his buddy Junior. Another sheep who passed away somewhat recently, who was blind and, a little senile. But Christopher would keep an eye on him and make sure he wasn't getting lost anywhere. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And Junior was 18 when he passed away. So, it's not always these deaths that feel premature. Sometimes it's just it isn't a tragedy. It's just a beautiful life where their lives are shorter, unfortunately, than ours. But he lived to the ripe old sheep man age, like just such an old sheep. And he had companions who also lived into their late teens. And we are a sanctuary that has been around for almost 20 years now. And our residents who came in the early years, many of them may have already passed away if they had shorter lifespans, but we're also seeing some of those other ones who we've had for over a decade becoming old again. And so we definitely have our fair share of truly ancient animals here at the sanctuary. Currently, the oldest is, we're just going to stick to the non-humans. I was about to get fresh. Our oldest currently is Buddy the horse, who's about 34 years old. So just a very old guy. And how old are you, Imogen? You're 5. She's 5. Oh my goodness.
And I have
You're
met a
not a
turkey
father, right?
before who will live to 11 and a half, so.
So we can hope.
Oh, children, behave. We're
We
having
had a
disagreements
we had a
about
small
who gets
chicken
to.
fight in the background.
Yeah, about who gets to use the dust bath.
I am going to start wrapping up, but I want to check very quickly, did we have any other questions that I should try to answer very quickly before we wrap up?
Well, just Veronica says, Caden, if you say that she's the oldest, which also I'm older than Veronica, so.
Veronica has lived in 5 different decades. A topic that is sensitive to some.
I'm giving Caden a very stern glare with my arms crossed right now, just so everyone knows that.
You are now privy to one of our ongoing jokes where I pointed out at the start of 2020 how many decades we had each been alive in. Me, having been born in the 90s, have existed in 4 decades, even though I am in my 20s. So you can do the math. But yes, did we have other questions before I give some reminders about some of our upcoming events or things that you can do?
I think go ahead, plug some stuff, and then, we gotta be getting out of here.
All right. So, we are going to do our shameless plug section. Stay if you like shameless plugs, cute turkeys, or weird banter. If you want more of us, you can...
And who doesn't?
If you want more of us and you want it to be private and personalized, we offer private virtual tours for your groups under our CAS Live offerings. We'll link that in the comments below. And so that could be you bringing us in for a tour for your birthday, your barnyard to boardroom, company meetings, etc., school groups, field trips. Lauren, what's the question?
I missed one. How is Jasmine doing?
Well,
I think that was Robin who asked that. Sorry about that, Robin.
Jasmine is doing well. She was, this is my first day back from my weekend. The day before my weekend, I went and I hung out with her and gave her a whole bunch of belly rubs. She didn't open her eyes one bit, but she did give me tons of belly exposure and kind of rolled over extra for me. So she's just living her best pig life. Health is good all around, doing great.
We got to
Such
try
a
to get
perfect
her on
pig.
camera one day.
We do, yes.
She
She's
tends
so
to hang
far
out.
been uncooperative.
Yeah, she hangs out sometimes where the internet doesn't reach. So
Um, we do have a cooking class coming up, by the way. That is this week?
tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, tomorrow?
So if you are interested in taking a virtual cooking class with us, you can sign up. We will also add the link to the comments below. I've lost track of the days of the week. I am so sorry. And we are on Thursday going to be officially starting our Petunia's Pledge campaign. We have a very special guest on our virtual sanctuary on Thursday as well. Again, days of the week, time not my strong suit today. I'm so sorry. Our special guest on Virtual Sanctuary on Thursday is going to be our animal care director, Kelly Mullins, sharing her story with us. So we're very excited for that. We don't know who the resident of the sanctuary that we're going to be joining with is going to be, because that will depend on who decides to be in the Wi-Fi zone. But it is definitely going to be a character, because they all are here. And we hope to see you on Thursday for that launch of Petunia's Pledge. But you can start signing up for Petunia's Pledge now. And we hope you will. You'll get all sorts of goodies to go along with that. I know we're running out of time, so we'll talk more about it on Thursday. And we'll also drop a link for Petunia's Pledge in the comments. We're so glad that you all joined us this afternoon. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Thank you for some awesome questions, for your compassion for all of these animals here at the sanctuary, and for supporting us. We are incredibly appreciative. You all help us do the work of giving these guys a lifelong home and the vet care that they all deserve, and tons of love. Right? All right. Bye, everyone.